What a fantastic sports Sunday. What a fantastic morning it is to be waking up a Spurs fan. Victor Wembanyama playing like a man possessed, playing like a man who was called out by Shaquille O'Neal, saying he needs to step up. How about that? Stepping up, actually leaping up to meet Chet Holmgren at the rim. Wemby setting the tone early defensively and then offensively as well on the oop side of the Stephon Castle alley. And then Devin Vassell, triple, got it. Spurs up 11. They were hitting threes. The Thunder were not. 6 for 33 from three. Worst three-point shooting percentage in a game this season, regular season or the postseason, doesn't matter. Jared McCain turns it over, and then Victor Wembanyama, taller than everybody else. Spurs up 9 after 1. The Thunder have to do this without Jalen Williams. Did not play due to the hamstring he's been battling all season. Second quarter, Spurs up by 5. The Hezzy, one-handed finish, get your own rebound. Victor Wembanyama doing the dang thing. Spurs up 7. This, the closing seconds of the half. Look at him calling for the rock just beyond half court. Pull! Got it. Come on, man. 40 feet. Longest three-point shot made in his career. Wemby had 22 points in the first half. The Spurs were up a dozen at the break against the Thunder team, who has not lost on the road yet in these playoffs. Third quarter, Spurs up 9. Steph Castle patiently waiting like a 50 Cent song, throwing it up to Wemby. The hoop, the harm, he has it. It's another double-digit lead, and then cookies. Castle picks the pocket of Isaiah Hartenstein. SGA had 19 points in the game. He led the Thunder in scoring, but it would not be enough. 82 points is all the Thunder were able to manufacture in this game. Fewest points in a game, any kind of game, since 2021. They would not break the century mark. Off the miss, Dylan Harper there for the board. Got it. They were getting it from everybody. Contributions, that is. Oklahoma City had 20 turnovers, and they were not happy. Spurs 25-point lead, their largest against the Thunder this season. And then Wemby, 33 points, 8 boards, 3 blocks. Spurs win. We have an even series heading back to Oklahoma.
Pop's been around like throughout the course of the season, but that was the first time he walked into the locker room and was like, nah, that's BS. That's not how we play basketball. And obviously he has some choice words for it, but that was the first time all season that he came into the locker room right after a game and told us how he felt. And everybody felt that. You know, Mitch was in there, B. Wright was in there, all the players down to the staff. You know how it is after a game. And then that's the first time I've ever seen that. Like trainers, everybody's in there. We close the doors.
Let him go.
Yeah, we don't let anybody know what's going on in here, but that's the first time he opened that door. We see Pop come in, and it's like,
They knew. Some choice words with Brian Windhorst this morning on SportsCenter. Brian, only 82 points for OKC last night, their fewest that they've scored in a game, any game, since December 2021, just what Gary told us. How did the Spurs disrupt OKC on offense?
Well, the bright line for me was just how different the Thunder looked without A.J. Mitchell and Jalen Williams. During the course of the season, they weathered the storm of not having Jalen Williams because they had A.J. Mitchell. And not having either of them really affected their offensive creation. It really put a lot of burden on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There was also a little bit of a difference that the Spurs made defensively, where they stuck more to the shooters, where they didn't trap SGA as far away from the basket, so they wouldn't give up all those outside three-point shots. And I think the stat that really illustrates this is that Alex Caruso, who's been killing them from three, he only attempted one shot last night because they were sticking close to him. So really the Thunder are going to be offensively challenged in this series if those guys can't come back.
Series is tied 2 games apiece, so now it becomes a best of 3. Meanwhile, game 4 between the Knicks and Cavs, that is tonight, with New York up 3 games to none in the series and has the Cavaliers on the brink. But Cavaliers coach Kenny Atkinson had some other thoughts and a different perspective. Wendy, take a listen to this.
Analytically, I think we've won the I said 3 out of 3. We're 2 out of 3 in the expected. I don't know if you guys follow that. There's like an expected score, and we won 2 out of the 3.
So there you go. Cavaliers are up 2 games to 1 in Coach Kenny Atkinson's mind. Yes. Analytically, your thoughts, Wendy?
This is a very tough sell. He's explaining why his team has hope, but it's a tough sell. It's like a couple of days ago when he was saying that James Harden's actually not that bad of a defender, that it's their help defense. Like, There's probably a spreadsheet that actually backs that up. He's not raving lunatic, but it's a very, very tough sell from what all of us saw. And the thing about it is, you can talk about shot luck. Basically what he's talking about is a metric that the NBA teams use, basically, which is how lucky are we versus how lucky are they. But that doesn't compute tired legs. And one of the big reasons why the Cavs are down 3-0 here is because of tired legs. They're not making their outside shots because they're not feeling great, and the Knicks have had more rest. And that is a big factor going forward. But listen, process over results always falls flat when you're in a short series, and that's where we're at right now.
Cavaliers might be getting a lot of rest if they don't win tonight, like a couple months worth of off-season rest. The Knicks, 2.5-point favorites. They go for the sweep tonight. Windy, great to see you.
All right, we're going to see New York move on, and we're going to see the Cavs live to play another day. It is Game 4 tonight of the Eastern Conference Finals. NBA tip-off gets you started at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then the game itself, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and anywhere you go on the ESPN app.
We'll be setting the table for you all day ahead on the 2 p.m. Sports Center. Everything you need to know ahead of Knicks, Cavs, Game 4, including how Cleveland can bounce back tonight.
Shot from 40 feet out, and then he banks it. The entire crowd goes insane. That's the moment for me, guys, that I knew that they were going to run away with this game. And they did. And for where they are going into Tuesday's Game 5, series shifts back to Oklahoma City. I absolutely feel better about the Spurs at this point. And this thing is ping pong back and forth. Game 1 gave us an all-time classic, Myron. And then we saw what the Oklahoma City Thunder did to grab Game 2 and 3. But now, seeing what we did with the Spurs last night, I know Amber's been telling us to pump our brakes this morning on this team and on Victor Wembanyama and the praise, but how can you not feel better about the Spurs considering they were facing a 3-1 hole last night and they end up evening this thing out as it shifts back to Oklahoma City?
Yeah, I think you got to respect young guys who've never been there before just responding the way that they did. I think that was remarkable to see, and then the way that Wemby played. I think it's valid what Amber's saying. SG has accomplished so much. He has the championship, multiple MVPs. But I do think sort of the tone of this series has changed. I came into it, Amber, thinking the Spurs have to shut down SGA to have a chance to win. Now I think this series will be decided on whether or not OKC can shut Wemby down or slow him down. That, to me, is what has changed. Wemby is the main character right now in this series, and I think he's the best player as well. He's going to determine, I think, what happens going forward.
So I don't think you can shut Wemby down. I mean, you can try to do some things. You can try to get him out of the paint. You know, you can try. They've tried different looks against him. You can try to go small, frustrate him that way, whatever. You can't shut a player like that down. That's going to be the greatness of a player at that height that can do so many brilliant things on both ends of the floor. But they did throw a lot at SGA last night, a lot of different looks. Obviously, it's been effective at times in this series, and that's really what you can hope for with these greats. Maybe you can be effective at times against Wemby, and we saw that in games 2 and 3. But what it's more about is kind of shutting everybody else down. The Thunder's bench was awful last night, and I mean, maybe that's the wear and tear of the postseason, and so maybe they have a bad game last night, and we're going to see a totally different Thunder bench in the next game. That's sort of how these things go with the momentum swings. Credit to OKC because they did take 2 in a row. That's something that we haven't seen San Antonio be able to do yet in this series. Are they going to be able to do that in Game 5? This thing is even, is all I'm saying. I do think that we're riding high, Courtney, on emotions coming off of last night, and we're forgetting that this is a 2-2 series. This is, you know, we're acting, right, like we're acting like the Spurs are out here sweeping the Thunder, and it ain't over. It's very, very far from over.
Well, and we're also acting like it's just Victor Wembanyama, and it's just the offense of this Spurs team putting up 103 points last night. Defensively, what they did to this Oklahoma City Thunder team to make them shoot 33% from the field, they contested 91% of shots last night. That stat that De'Aaron Fox just rattled off in his post-game press conference, you had to think about it. You're like, we haven't seen this high-powered Thunder offense look like this all series long. Let's hear from Mark Daigneault, Oklahoma City Thunder head coach, about how his team played and the defense that took him out.
We left a lot to be desired on that end of the floor tonight. We didn't